Hi, my name's Colin Blair and I'm here today to present Charlton&Jenrick's PureVision range. I'll take you through some of the features, the unique selling points. First of all, I'll talk about the brand name. We got the name PureVision. As a company, we knew that the world was changing and we had a vision that we needed to produce a stove to make the world a greener place. So our managing director, our technical guy on the stove side, Peter Mintoff, worked on the PureVision range. Lots of unique features, but one of the main features is our tertiary air system. The tertiary air system has been patented, so people can't follow the technology. People who don't know about tertiary air, fundamentally a stove has two air controls. Primary air, for if you're burning coal, introducing air underneath the product. Secondary air is introducing air above the fuel. If you're burning wood, wood needs air above the fuel. Tertiary air is a third inlet of air. It's usually found at the back of the stove, and on any other stove on the marketplace, these holes are around 12 to 14 mil, and they're just holes. Introduce oxygen into the stove, that travel up the back, they enter the stove. While the log's burning, it's storing energy and producing gas, and the tertiary air hits the gas, ignites it and utilises it as a fuel. Also with the PureVision, you've got ceramic liners. The ceramic liners are basically a conductor of heat, so they will store the energy and project the heat from the liners. You've also got a special material in the outer box that's a reflective material that captures any heat that's lost from the firebox and project that heat forward. So it's a very, very special product. I'm going to demonstrate how controllable the stove is. So if you just bear with me. It's always good to use a glove. It helps you handle the fuel. It's a safety feature as well, so you're not going to get any burns. It's always good practice to gently open the door, allow the air to equalise. Behind the glass could be 800 degrees, room temperature could be 28 degrees, so you've got two extremes. So just open the door slightly, allow the stove to settle, open the door very slowly. Okay, then using the poker, I'm going to create a really good fuel bed. And we've got a perfect fuel bed there to lay the fuel. Okay. When you're placing fuel into a stove, you never throw the log in. Always try and position the fuel. Position it centrally for you get a really good flame picture, and always cross the fuel over so it oxygenates, so oxygen can travel around the fuel. Within 10 or 15 seconds, the fuel should ignite. And so that's a successful refueling operation. The tertiary air system on a PureVision has been patented. On a standard stove, tertiary air enters the stove in a straight line. I'm now going to use an analogy. So in America, when you've got strong winds, if the wind is just straight, it doesn't cause any destruction or damage. But if there's a tornado, it causes huge destruction. If you look inside the stove, you can see that it creates a vortex, which is replicating a tornado. This does many things. First of all, the power of a tornado, it's forcing the heat forward, so the stove burns a lot hotter. It's also mixing the gases and the carbon inside the stove, ensuring that any carbon particulates that leave the stove are almost burning clean, which is better for the planet. So part of the company's vision is to create a model. We've called it PureVision. Two reasons. One, because you have a really crystal clear view of the fire, so in essence a pure vision. Secondly, the company had a vision for the future. The PureVision is also very controllable. I'll demonstrate just how controllable the stove is. So at the moment it's working on full aeration. If I just pull this back, I can demonstrate just how controllable. If I introduce some air, slowly, and away she goes. You'll notice there's lots of blue in the flame, and that's the gas that's being produced by the fuel. When I also talk about PureVision, I ask salespeople to do what I call the hand test. So if you put the back of your hand to the stove, you can demonstrate just how hot the stove is and how much heat is coming through the front of the stove. But if you actually go around the back of the stove, I can touch it. And I can demonstrate on the stove that's just around the corner just how that works. With a PureVision, you've got a firebox and then you've got an outer box. So it's actually a stove within a stove. Every single wall stove loses energy and loses heat through the sides and through the back. Okay? With the PureVision, the initial firebox is going to lose heat, but it's then captured by the outer box that's reflected back into the stove. So the PureVision has the inner firebox. The inner firebox will naturally lose some heat. The beauty of a PureVision is it's also got an additional skin, and it's got a conductive material that lines the outer box. So any heat that is lost then radiates and is collected and is bounced back into the product with this material, ensuring that all the heat travels in the direction of the family and the room, and it isn't lost from the sides or the back.